Today, we have a reminder as to why you should have trusted people around you to bounce ideas off of. The more you fuck around, the more you find out. This story comes from Weekly Bid 6647 and it's titled, "Am I Wrong for Blocking My Ex After She Admitted the Breakup Was Fake and She Was Testing Me?" I was with this girl for about 8 months. Things were good, like genuinely good. No major fights, no red flags, nothing that made me think we were in trouble. So when she hit me with the breakup text out of nowhere, it completely blindsided me. She said she needed space and that she felt like I was too available, whatever that means. I was gutted, honestly. I didn't eat right for like a week, couldn't focus at work. The whole thing just knocked me on my ass because I really thought we had something solid. But I respected it. She said she wanted out, so I let her go. Didn't blow up her phone, didn't show up at her place, didn't do any of that desperate stuff. I just took the L and tried to move on. Weeks go by, no contact. I start feeling a little better. Started working out again, started hanging out with friends more. Then she texts me saying she wants to talk. I figured, okay, maybe she wants closure or maybe she feels bad about how she ended things. So I agreed to meet up. She told me she never wanted to break up. The whole thing was a test. She wanted to see if I'd chase her, if I'd fight for her, if I'd prove how much I loved her by refusing to let her go. And when I didn't do any of that, she said it broke her heart. I just sat there staring at her like, are you actually hearing yourself right now? She said now that I've clearly grown and gotten stronger, she wants to try again. Like she did me a favor. Like putting me through weeks of actual misery was some kind of gift. I told her that was one of the most manipulative things anyone has ever done to me. She said I was overreacting and that I should take it as a compliment that she still wants me. A compliment. She literally broke my heart on purpose as an experiment and I should be flattered. Like who does that to someone they supposedly love? Am I wrong? And my verdict is, he's not wrong. And she is very manipulative. Let's be honest. She left him for another guy, that's why weeks went by because she was with the other guy, and then when he dumped her, then she came up with that lame-ass excuse, and now she's back. But what do you think? Is he wrong? Comment down below, and let's read some comments. I guess it didn't work out with the other guy. I would keep her blocked. Exactly this. She went off and fucked around, and he didn't want her. Now she comes back with this bullshit. If it had been a test, she would have had words with you within days. She is a liar and a piece of shit. Keep her blocked and tell her what you really think of her antics. She fumbled a whole relationship on purpose, then got surprised when it actually ended. Like, girl, what did you think was gonna happen? I agree with the comments that say to keep her blocked. Be gone. On to the next story. This one comes from username putsome1797 and is titled, "A week after getting engaged, I found out why my fiance kept comparing me to my stepsister. I feel embarrassed writing this, but I need to get this off my chest. I got engaged a week ago. He proposed to me himself and I really believed he loved me. But even before the engagement, something always felt uncomfortable. Whenever we were together, he would bring up my stepsister. He would compliment her style, her makeup, the way she dresses. Sometimes he would tell me I should try to look more like her. He would say things like, you'd look better if you dressed like she does, or you should try her kind of makeup. I'm a simple person. I don't like heavy makeup. I never thought there was something wrong with that, but around him, I started feeling like I wasn't enough. Yesterday we went out for dinner. He left his phone unlocked when he went to the restroom. I know I shouldn't have looked, but I did. I opened his gallery and found pictures of him and my stepsister together. Not just normal family pictures, they looked close, intimate. Some of them were clearly taken before we got engaged, but they didn't look very old. I felt sick. When I got home, I asked my stepsister about it. She admitted they used to be together. She said our family didn't approve of their relationship. Then she said something that hasn't left my mind since. She said he never really moved on from her. I asked her why he would propose to me if that was true. She said being engaged to me made it easier for him to still be around her without causing family drama. I don't know if that's exactly what he planned or if she just said that to hurt me, but after seeing those pictures and remembering how often he compared me to her, I can't ignore the possibility. He's still texting me like everything is normal, talking about wedding plans, telling me what to wear when we meet. And I'm sitting here wondering if I was ever really chosen or if I was just convenient. I haven't confronted him yet. I'm still trying to process how quickly something that felt so happy turned into something that feels humiliating. I just needed to say this somewhere. You know, there's that saying of keeping things in a family, like secrets. I don't think that shit applies to spouses. It strikes me as odd that he just couldn't stay away from the stepsister even though they're not together anymore. Like, really, you couldn't find somebody else not related to her? But those are my thoughts. Comment yours down below and I'm gonna read some comments before the update. Leave now. Even if there is nothing about him still wanting stepsister, the fact that he wants to change you and make you someone you are not, he isn't the one. This is what I wanted to say. The whole stepsister situation is bonkers. Yes, but just the fact that dude wanted to dictate what OP should be wearing, how she should look, is totally icky. Using OP to be close to the other chick, and she not saying anything about their previous relationship to her, the whole thing is yuck. OP, cut your losses there. Sad situation, and I would never trust your stepsister again. Best of luck, but just so you know, this is not on you, not your fault. Continue to be true to yourself. This mess is that creepy a-hole's fault, and your stepsister is not coming out of this smelling of roses, in my opinion. You deserve better. Thank you so much. I don't really have close friends or family I can talk to about this, no one to give advice or help me feel lighter. I really appreciate that you cared and reminded me that none of this is my fault. I just don't know if I should share this with my parents or if I should even talk to my fiance about it once. I would break up and explain the reason of the breakup to your family. My parents have always cared more about my stepsister, mainly because of my stepmother. My fiance didn't have a big business or status at the time, so my stepmother never agreed to their relationship. She didn't like me much either and wanted me to get married quickly. My stepsister only discussed with our family who she liked and what kind of job they had. My mother refused that match, and after that, my fiance and I continued our relationship secretly. No one in our house knew about us, because in our culture, it's considered bad to bring someone home or discuss personal relationships openly before family approval. That's why my sister never introduced him at home. Usually, if someone likes someone, families talk first and then arrange the relationship. Update 5 days later. After reading all your comments, I finally spoke to my father this morning. He was shocked when I told him everything. I also confronted my stepsister face to face. At first, neither of them wanted to believe me. They said I was lying. But when my father asked my fiance to clarify over the phone, he finally admitted the truth. After hearing this, my father kicked him out of the house and told my stepsister, if you want to marry him, go ahead, but end your relationship with me. My stepmother tried to convince my father that my stepsister is immature and that I should forgive her, but my father stood firm. By the way, I am now feeling very relaxed. I can't believe I escaped such a difficult situation. Thank God. I'm still processing everything, but I finally feel like I'm free from this mess and can focus on myself. I honestly had no faith in the father because of the line where OP said that her parents cared more about her stepsister, so I assumed the father was in that camp. But luckily for her, he had her back. I'm sorry about the dissolution of your relationship, but thank goodness your father is on your side. Seriously, usually in these Reddit stories, the parents try to keep the peace or tell the victim to get over it. Massive respect to this dad for actually having a spine. But what did you think about this story? Comment down below. And I'm gonna get on to the last story. This story comes from username dryattitude9925 and it's titled, Am I the a-hole for quote cheating on my wife? Hey Reddit, throw away because I don't want this story associated with my main account. So, some background. I am 35 and my wife 34F have been happily married for 11 years, have a child together, and I'm desperately in love with her. We both practice Christianity and are very devout to our beliefs. Recently, my wife has been quite busy with work and school as she is finishing up her degree to be a lawyer, and then she has been studying for the bar exam. She has been heavily invested into her studies, studying most weeks for nearly 25 hours on top of her full-time job and interning. I know this can make me seem like a bit of a bum in comparison to her, but please know I am also working a full-time job in addition to multiple side hustles. Life is expensive living in Cali. I say all of this to help understand the cheating. One day we were having a busy morning. I was getting my son out the door to school and she was rushing around to get to work. After my son got on the bus, my wife left for work right after him. I had the morning off. I was feeling a little frisky, so I pulled out my phone and pulled up a spicy video my wife and I made about 7 years ago during intimacy. So here I am watching the video and doing the deed. The sound then disconnects, later finding out my wife had come back home to get her phone and it connected to her car audio. I then fixed the sound, so I go back to doing the deed. As I'm finishing, my wife walks in on me furious. She asked me what the heck I was doing and how could I do this to her. I sat there ashamed, but a little confused, and after her ranting rage, I said I didn't see what the big deal was. She said you were watching porn and pleasuring yourself to it, then went off on a short tangent about knowing I wasn't attracted to her anymore. I then flipped my phone to her to show her the video I was doing the deed to. She then was furious with me still. I said I still find her incredibly attractive and find her even more beautiful now. Actual truth compared to this 7-year-old video. She then insisted I was cheating on her because I was pleasuring myself without her. I sat there naked and shocked. I asked her how it was cheating. She then said because sex is to be a together act. I asked if she thought masturbating was wrong and let her know that there have been times during intimacy that masturbation was an act we did. She said that it wasn't wrong, but that it still needed to be done together. I explained to her that I didn't see anything wrong with it. I wasn't watching other women and would rather be having sex with her than watching a video, but I was just feeling backed up and that it has been a few weeks. She then was furious and essentially left for work. So here I am wondering what I did. I asked her why she agreed to making the video and what she thought I was doing with it. She got more mad and then went to work. So here I sit wondering, am I the a-hole? My verdict is NTA. No part of that is cheating. It's a video y'all made together, so it's like, what did she think was gonna happen with it? Sure, y'all could watch it together, but what about times like this when y'all don't really have time for all of that? In my opinion, she's just being ridiculous, but comment your thoughts and verdicts down below. Update. I had a couple people ask for an update, and well, I personally don't like cliffhangers either, so here goes. After she left, I texted her and asked for us to pause this fight, but wanted to resume it that weekend. We had plans already for Saturday since it was Valentine's Day, where my parents were watching our son. She agreed, and the next day and a half felt off, but we managed. Long story short, she agreed. She said saying cheating was out of line. In the moment she was late, couldn't find her phone, thought her husband was watching porn, felt ashamed, and just overall stressed. I will say we have actually talked a lot about masturbation before, but it has not really come up in the last few years, hence a bit of my shock to the situation. She did agree that the video we made was for just this reason, but that she had some interesting views on the situation I had not thought about. 1. She has put on some weight during school. Please hate me when I say, yes, I noticed, but my gosh, she's just as beautiful, if not more now than when we made the video. She does not feel as attractive as she did when we made that video, so she felt like I was fantasizing to a younger, more attractive version of her. 2. She said she didn't have an issue with masturbation, but she was surprised that it was not just a quick wank and go. She was surprised to see me in our bed, naked, and not just quick doing it in the shower. She felt like I put more thought into it than the last few times we have got together because, well, in my defense, Now we just don't have a lot of time, as my previous post and many comments mentioned, but in the end, she understood. 3. She had been making statements all week about having a hard time waiting for the weekend where we could finally have some time together. When I said me too to her, she took that as me saving all my love for her, hence my comment of her being upset for pleasuring myself without her. This makes sense to me, especially since as I have gotten older, I am more of a once or twice a week and I'm satisfied instead of every day, so I let her know I understood, but also explained there is a big difference in satisfaction from sex with her versus masturbation. So all in all, we are good now. We had a great weekend and definitely both got some release. The last thing I want to point out is a lot of people commented on the purity culture of Christianity. I do really agree that there are a lot of things that the church got wrong in the 90s and 2000s, but I really feel like we are progressing past this. That being said though, yeah, there's still some weirdness there, even for myself and my wife. If anyone has and records for deconstructing purity culture, but it's still being biblically relevant. I would love to see them, as after our talks, I think both the wife and I would be interested in this. Hope this update finds everyone well. Well, that was a good update, and after hearing the wife's side of the story, I see where she's coming from. In her mind, they're both pent up and saving that pent up energy for each other, and then she walks in on him taking care of himself without her. And then add on all the overwhelming stress from everything else she got going on. I completely get where she's coming from. So I changed my stance from not the a-hole to no a-holes here. But those are my thoughts. Comment yours down below, and thank you for watching.